One of the richest men on Earth has said, in public, that the chance we're living in what he calls base reality, actual, physical, unsimulated reality, is 1 in billions. Not 1 in 2, 1 in billions. And he isn't alone. In Silicon Valley, the idea has become an obsession. According to one report, 2 tech billionaires have quietly hired scientists not to study the simulation, but to break us out of it. It sounds like a movie. But this isn't coming from a comment section. It's coming from physicists, from Oxford philosophers, from the people who build our technology. They are seriously asking whether everything you have ever seen, touched, or loved is running on someone else's computer. And the unsettling part isn't the question. It's that, so far, no one has been able to prove them wrong. To take this seriously, forget the movies for a moment and start with a piece of pure logic. In 2003, a philosopher at Oxford named Bostrom published a paper with a simple, brutal title: "Are you living in a computer simulation?" He didn't claim we are. He did something more clever and harder to escape. He laid out a trap. Bostrom's reasoning goes like this. Assume that a civilization can survive long enough to build computers powerful enough to simulate conscious minds. Not cartoons, actual, self-aware beings who feel real. If that's possible, then a civilization like that wouldn't run one simulation. They'd run millions, ancestor simulations, entire histories, rerun for research, or entertainment, or reasons we can't imagine. And here's the hook. If there are billions of simulated worlds, and only one real one, then the simulated minds outnumber the real minds by billions to 1. So if you pick a conscious being at random, say you, the odds are overwhelming that you are one of the simulated ones, simply because there are so many more of them. Which leads to Bostrom's trilemma. One of 3 things must be true. 1, almost every civilization destroys itself before it can build such simulations. 2, civilizations reach that power, but choose never to use it. Or 3, we are almost certainly living in a simulation right now. Pick any one you like, but you have to pick one. That's what makes it so hard to walk away from. For most of history, a thought like this stayed in philosophy departments. Then the people who run the modern world got hold of it. The billionaire who said the odds were 1 in billions reasoned like an engineer. We already build games that look more real every single year. Give it a few decades, or centuries, and those games become indistinguishable from reality. Run billions of them, across billions of machines, and statistically, base reality becomes a rounding error. That logic spread through Silicon Valley like a virus. In a 2016 profile, the head of one of the most powerful startup incubators on Earth casually mentioned that many people in his world were obsessed with the simulation, and that 2 billionaires had secretly hired scientists to find a way out. Their names were never released. But sit with that. Some of the most powerful people alive apparently believe there may be walls to this world, and they're paying to find the door. And it's not just the tech world. When a well-known astrophysicist was asked, live on stage, for the odds that we live in a simulation, he didn't laugh. He said it might be 50-50, a coin flip, on the single most important question you could ever ask about your own existence. So the powerful believe it. But is there anything in the world itself, any fingerprint, that points to it? The people who say yes point to a handful of strange facts about physics. And they are strange. Start with this. Reality appears to be pixelated. There is a smallest possible length, the Planck length, below which the very idea of distance stops making sense, and a smallest unit of time. Our universe isn't infinitely smooth. It behaves like it has a resolution, a grid, exactly the way a digital image does. Then there's the speed of light, a hard, absolute cap on how fast any information can travel. To a programmer, that looks suspiciously like a processing limit, the maximum speed at which the system can update itself, a frame rate for the universe. And then, the strangest one. In quantum experiments, a particle behaves like a spread-out wave of possibilities until someone measures it. The moment it's observed, it snaps into a single definite state. Some look at that and see something eerily familiar. A video game, which saves processing power by only fully rendering what the player is actually looking at. As if our universe, too, doesn't bother drawing the details until someone checks. It goes further. One respected physicist studying the deep equations of particle physics found something inside them he couldn't explain. Patterns that function like error-correcting codes, the exact kind of self-checking code we write to keep data from corrupting inside a computer. He's careful. He does not say we're in a simulation, but he doesn't say we're not. And in 2012, a team of physicists went so far as to propose an actual test, searching the highest energy cosmic rays for a subtle signature of an underlying grid. For the first time, Are We in a Simulation stopped being only philosophy and started looking like an experiment. So, case closed? Not even close. Because when you push on the theory, it starts to dissolve in your hands. And the reason why is the most important idea in this whole video. A theory only counts as science if there's some experiment that could, in principle, prove it wrong. And the simulation hypothesis fails that test completely. Think about it. If the simulators are powerful enough to fake an entire universe, then they're powerful enough to fake the result of any experiment you run to catch them. Every glitch you find could be a real glitch, or a detail they added on purpose. There is no possible measurement that could ever rule it out. And a claim that nothing could ever disprove isn't a scientific fact, it's a belief. As one physicist put it bluntly, this isn't science, it's a religion for people who like math. And those clues, they're weaker than they sound. Nobody, not one person on Earth actually knows how to simulate our physics. Our best theories of gravity and the quantum world don't even fit together, let alone run on a computer. The resolution of the universe isn't pixels, it's the limit of our own equations. And the particle that only renders when observed is just quantum mechanics being quantum mechanics. Deeply weird, but not proof of a game engine. We are pattern matching the universe to the newest thing we've built, which, it turns out, is exactly what we always do. Because here's the part that should stay with you. This is not a new question. It is the oldest one we have. 2,000 years ago, Plato imagined prisoners in a cave, mistaking shadows for the real world. A Chinese philosopher wondered if he was a man who dreamed he was a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming he was a man. Descartes feared an evil demon feeding false reality straight into his mind. Ancient Hindu texts called the whole visible world Maya, illusion. Every era asks the same question. It just reskins it in whatever machine it's most proud of. The clockmakers imagined a clockwork universe. We built computers, so now the universe is a computer. The theory may say less about reality and more about us. So let's ask the real question, the one underneath all of it. Suppose it's true. Suppose this is a simulation, running flawlessly, forever. If the code is perfect, then there is no test you could run, no crack you could find, no difference at all between a perfect simulation and reality itself. And if there's no difference you could ever detect, then does the word simulation even mean anything? One philosopher who takes the idea seriously offers a strange comfort. Even if we are simulated, he argues, it doesn't make any of this fake. Simulated pain still hurts. Simulated love is still love. A simulated sunrise is still the most beautiful thing you'll see all week. Whatever this is, code or cosmos, it is the only reality you will ever have. And that might be the point the theory keeps circling. Not that your world isn't real, but that real was always a stranger word than you assumed. This was the hidden signal. Subscribe, we test the walls of the world so you don't have to. And tell me in the comments, if you could find out for certain, one way or the other, would you even want to know?